Heavenly Father, we're grateful for the opportunity we have to gather together tonight in celebration of our accomplishment in finishing high school. And we're thankful for the help that was blessed us with throughout those 4 years and the accomplishments we've had. And we ask that you please bless it as we go throughout the rest of our lives, we may be able to work towards success and be able to accomplish our goals. We're thankful for all that was done for us, and we ask that you please bless it as we go throughout the rest of this night, we may be blessed with safety. Thankful for all that was done for us, and we say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Good evening, administration, teachers, friends, parents, aunts, uncles, cousins, nieces and nephews, but most importantly, good evening to the class of 2012. Today, we walked through the halls of Westside High School for our very last time. We saw that hideous green tile for the last time, but we remembered and we asked ourselves, why green? Why? Especially with the with the maroon lockers. It just doesn't work. Anyways, we looked back on our last 4 years of high school, and we realized that it was fun, but it's over, and it's time for us to get a grip on our lives. Today, my fellow classmates, our lives begin. Today, we become citizens to the world, and today, we become grown-ups. I know, it's a scary thought, but when we think about it, it'll all work out in the end. Look at our parents and our grandparents, our brothers and our sisters, aunts and uncles. They're so happy, and they know what they're doing. And they started out just like us. Today, class of 2012, we become accountable to someone other than just ourselves and our parents. We become accountable for more than just our grades and those curfews you always had to make or you were in trouble. Okay. Today, we become accountable to the world, to the future, and to all the possibilities that life has to offer. Today, it's our job to show up to this graduation wide-eyed and ready. And for what, we ask? We have no idea. But maybe it's time to take on life. Maybe it's time to realize that our life is about to begin. We're about ready to head to college, to missions, to get married and to have families. Today is our time to shine. Today, we become citizens. Today is our job. Our job as class of 2012 is to take on our lives. And I, for one, cannot wait. Congratulations, class of 2012.
Man, I feel like I'm wearing my mother's drapes. Is anyone else wearing that? Man. Well, hello everyone. My name is Stratton Roberts, and as the senior class president and salutatorian, I would like to say welcome and thank you all for coming. A special thanks to all of those parents, teachers, faculty, as well as anyone and everyone who has made this day possible. Without you, none of us would be here. One of my favorite quotes of all time is by a man you may have heard of, Thomas Edison. He said, when working on the light bulb, he hadn't failed 10,000 times. He just found 10,000 ways that didn't work. In that one quote, I've always found the difference between a winning attitude and a quitting attitude. If you can learn from your failures and even find them positive in some ways, you will always be way ahead of the curve. As you may know, after learning of Westside's amazing concurrent enrollment program, I transferred here from Preston in the summer before my junior year. I've always taken the time to adjust to people and my surroundings, but all of my fellow students made me feel important and welcome from the time I stepped into Westside. I'll be forever indebted to them. You made a new person out of me in these 2 years. I never could think I was capable of giving and receiving so much. Thanks to all of you for changing the person in me. There are too many people I want to thank tonight. My mother and my father, all of my friends and their parents, our teachers, Mrs. Nielsen. I thank everyone from the bottom of my heart. I also want to extend a very special thank you to the Larry Dowd family. Without your vision and charity, I wouldn't be standing here right now. You have given me hope and desire to seek out a higher education. Through your help, I will have accumulated 94 college credits by the end of this summer, making me a senior at Utah State University. Thank you, Mr. Daly. Now, as we turn our eyes away from textbooks, tests, and sporting events, and towards the future, we will take these lessons with us. Some will go to college, some will go on church missions, some will quickly get married and start a family. Others will embark on the first leg of what will hopefully be a successful career. Whatever path you choose, those lessons will help you on your way. Whether we remain friends forever or I never see you again after today, I wish all of you the blessings, happiness, and success that you are hoping for as you sit here today. You do have the ability to make a difference in your world. I leave the seniors with the words of Dr. Seuss. You have brains in your head, you have feet in your shoes. You can steer yourself in any direction you choose. You're on your own and you know what you know. You are the guy who will decide where to go. Parents, my advice to you is don't cry because it's over, smile because it happened. Thank you and congratulations, class of 2012. Before I finish, as a senior class, we would like to recognize two individuals that will not be walking with us tonight, but have walked the halls with us this past year. Can we have John Locatelli and Mandy Hulse come to the stage? These two young ladies have made this year fun, and we have enjoyed getting to know them and their culture. We would like to wish them luck in their future. Thank you.
Mr. Bueller, Board of Trustees, Administrators, faculty, family, friends, and fellow graduates. We sit here with a myriad of different emotions running through us. This is a moment where reflection on the past meets anticipation for the future. I've heard so many times from both seniors and underclassmen the words, "I can't wait to get out of here and leave all this behind." I'm here to tell you that this attitude is misguided. While it is important for us to be excited for our future, to be unappreciative of where we have come from is the wrong perspective as we approach this transition in our lives. To illustrate my point, I would like to tell you what I call the parable of the black backpack. This year, I carried around a black JanSport backpack. I call her Jan for short. There's something very special about Jan. I've used this very same backpack since kindergarten. I know that it is hard to believe, but year after year, kids would come to school with new backpacks. Some of them their favorite color or brand, or some had their favorite character on it, like Hannah Montana or Justin Bieber. But me? Nope, I always brought the same plain black JanSport. I actually think in elementary once I got a new one with dinosaurs on it or something, but after a few weeks it broke, so I was back to Jan. This backpack has never had a rip or a broken zipper. It has been the staple of consistency, all that you could ever want in a backpack, setting the standards for all other backpacks. But I have not always felt that way about it. Every new school year, even before my senior year, I would contemplate buying a backpack. I wanted to upgrade to a newer, sweeter backpack. But my mother would always inform me that it would be a waste of money to buy a new backpack when I already had a perfectly good one. And she, like always, was right. It really wasn't until this year that I ever really loved my backpack. I was talking to my friends in stats class about Jan, and they thought it was so cool that I had had the same backpack since kindergarten. It made me realize how much I love Jan, even though I'd been trying to push her away for years. I was suddenly grateful. Grateful for how much Jan has served me and how much money she has probably saved me over these last 13 years. I mean, I probably have the coolest backpack anyone has ever owned. But if I'd gotten a new backpack before I recognized the gratitude that I had for Jan, it would have become just another meaningless object in my past. Do we want the experiences we have had, the friendships we have made, and the lessons we have learned throughout school to be meaningless? They should mean everything to us at this stage in the game. Gratitude is the only way to make these memories and years of preparation permanent in our lives as we enter the future. The only way we will be able to use our growing experiences as a foundation and build on it is if we are grateful, because gratitude makes things important. Gratitude makes things special, and gratitude gives us experience to build upon. Let me mention a few experiences among many for which we should be grateful. Let's start with Mr. Abbott's dual entries. We should be grateful for them. Our jobs, college, fatherhood, motherhood, community service, and so much more is going to be filled with redundant tasks that we are not going to like to do. But having completed 102,000 dual entries has prepared us for those tasks that life requires but are not fun. What about the day Mr. Barzy confiscated all of our cell phones? If yours didn't get confiscated that day, it was only because you didn't have one. The school board made a policy about cell phones, and we signed handbooks and agreed to them, yet we still had them at school and all over the school. Mr. Barzy found a couple in the lunchroom, and then everyone started ratting everyone else out, and by the end of the day, Mr. Barzy had drawers full of cell phones. We should be grateful to Mr. Barzy for taking our cell phones away that day. He taught us that we weren't above the law, and the school board taught us that our education was more important than text messaging. We should be grateful for Coach Moser's nub. For years now, we have been taught to respect the nub. Coach Moser has told us and taught us how to respect the nub. And after many, many lessons, we can all honestly say that we do respect the nub. I propose that if we learn to respect half of a finger, we surely can respect our elders, employers, our parents, our colleagues, and just about anything else. So we should be grateful for the nub. Let's all think back to the 8th grade play, Bugsy Malone, that we were all forced to be a part of. It started out a little embarrassing considering that Tyler, Jason, and I played opposite of Harley, Shelby, and Alyssa, and they were anywhere from 6 to 10 inches taller than each of us. We should be grateful for the 8th grade play because it brought our class closer together. It also taught us that we can be anything that we want to be. And even though the girls are still taller than some of us, we have learned to compensate with the top hat at prom. We are indebted to our community for their support. It has always been consistent and reliable. This year, on back-to-back days, we won district championships in volleyball and football. The community packed the gym and then filled the berm at Malad. The next weekend, they filled the stands at state football, state volleyball, and state cross country, and then met the bus and celebrated a state volleyball championship. Our community even packs the gym at Soda at their own physical risk. We can always count on cheers from John O'Brien's grandma and a hug from Carol Henderson as we leave the court or field. This is the same community that passed a bond and built this beautiful facility for us to sing, dance, and perform in. The track across the street that is home of the current boys and girls district championship track teams is courtesy of our community. And all of the college credits that we earned came at the expense of those who care about Westside. When we talk of the people of the Westside community, it should be with honor. We each have had personal disappointments and setbacks and losses during our first 18 years of life that we have learned from and someday we can even be grateful for. Last weekend, I watched Tyler Olson run a 2-mile race for a state championship he is prepared for a lifetime to run. But rather than being bitter that an injury prevented him from having the moment that he had worked so hard for, he ran through the pain and congratulated the champion afterwards. I don't know if he is grateful for this trial, but I do believe that he understands trials are a part of life, and we should all be grateful for his example of strength of character. Some of us have lost people very close to us, and we've learned to be grateful for the value of life. Samantha and Sierra got a call this year where they were told their dad had a massive heart attack. But today he sits in the crowd, proud of his oldest daughter's accomplishments. They are grateful for the miracle of life. And this is where I would like to end. Life is a miracle meant to be enjoyed, not just endured. I would suggest to the Westside graduating class of 2012 to be grateful. start tonight. Our gratitude for the past teaches us how to enjoy the present and be better in the future. Thank you to all who make West Side what it is. And as a matter of practicing what I am preaching, I'd like to close with a personal thank you. Mr. Butler, thank you for your vision, your energy, and your sacrifice. Thank you for your love of education, excellence, and sports. Thank you to your family for sharing you with the community that demands the best. Mr. Butler, I am truly grateful for you. Thank you, and congratulations, class of 2012.
classmates, friends, teachers, parents, cousins, aunts and uncles, and most especially grandparents. Although we think we're young, we will soon be just like you. Our hair will be white, our teeth will be false, and we may have a few wrinkles here and there. But during the course of that time, we are growing old. We will hope to achieve being great, people with lots of money, and being just like you. But wait, what will we be doing? Let's take a look at some of the things we may be doing over the next few decades. I will begin with some of the young, strong, buff, good-looking boys in our class. Ammon Baird will be the next Guinness World Record holder for knowing the most jokes as a stand-up comedian. Daz Butters is going to be world-renowned National Geographic photographer of Hawaiian flamethrowers. After graduation, Robert Larson will grow his hair out as a Clay Matthews lookalike. He will coach football using the influence of the 49ers and coaches appearances in the NFL. Sam Northridge will be the first colonel in the United States Marine Corps to skateboard his entire platoon down a mountain to rescue an entire village of refugees. And the first officer to develop skateboarding tricks that will benefit peacetime soldiers as they are on duty. After our senior year, Shelby Moser will drive to Denver to compete for American Idol and makes it to the final three, but is sadly voted off. The judges, however, decide to keep her to replace Jennifer Lopez as one of the judges. This is mainly because of her fabulous wardrobe experience. Jovita Poncarde will be the first woman to set foot on the moon and successfully put together a pizza with anti-gravity serum. Harley Wolfley's face will appear nationwide, and she will develop a women's leather clothing line that will be sold in all major department stores and sponsored by Harley-Davidson motorcycles. Tough women everywhere will flock to buy the name brand. Heather Green will write a best-selling book entitled How to Find Your Man and Keep Him for Longer Than 5 Days. In several years, we will see Tyler Olson's name across the board as Pablo Sanchez III, gold medalist in men's synchronized swimming. Kayla Stokes will become head chef at the Café de l'Ouest, aka the West Side Cafe, and caters to all West Side class reunions. Thomas Kolke will be playing the blues on the big stage in New Orleans on his gold-plated saxophone, with all the women swooning at his feet. Connor Reed will develop the first motorcycle helmet that looks like a full head of real hair. And stays put as bald men everywhere fly down the highway on their CRF 450s. Sierra Fuller will become an ICU nurse and work at the University of Utah Hospital, teaching classes to twins on how to get along. Samantha Kohler will become the first teacher ever to use electronic headgear in the classroom to teach children math and science. Guess who wins the Nobel Peace Prize in Medicine? J.D. Cook for performing his own surgery while juggling his liver and pancreas. Janessa Leyland strains her vocal cords during her freshman year as she gets to know everyone on campus. She has to learn to speak again, taking 5 years of talking off her life. Brian Hoyle will become a millionaire extraordinaire, making millions in the car business, and gives his fortune to a third world country, only to make another million in the next year. Mary Krieger finds herself curator of the Guggenheim Fine Art Museum in New York City and wins awards throughout the world for her creative sculptures. Michaela Holiday becomes a mother of 15 children and writer of children's stories for the Friend magazine. She will be married to, just kidding. Chance Weeks becomes the next star and owner of Pawn Stores, a show about pawn shops, and makes his million by the time he's 24. Ladies. Therese Alder competes for Miss America, representing the state of Idaho, and plays her guitar and sings for her talent, placing in the top 5. Jace Keller becomes president of a non-profit organization that sponsors worldwide help to kids who have to go to the emergency room over and over, especially for pole vaulting accidents. Katie Owen becomes an accessory supermodel and marries Hunter Hayes, traveling the country as his manager. Cody Lynn competes in the Tour de France until he reaches the age of 72, when he gets run off the road by a photographer. Taking pictures. Andrea Martin becomes a fashion designer for the elderly, making old people look hot. James Means finds himself working at West Motor and wins big in the Powerball, using his money to buy fast new cars for deserving high school students. Alex Montez and Tristan Jorgensen. Married, honeymoon, tropical paradise in Fiji, where they decide to build their house and live happily ever after. Mindy Penrod teaches dance classes to 30 to 45-year-old men who can learn to finally avoid stepping on the toes of their wives. Marley Sears moves into a penthouse in Salt Lake City so that she never has to see cow manure again. She works as a nurse for President Monson and other general authorities. Oscar Porter transfers to BYU so that he can be on the ballroom dance team, moves to Los Angeles, and goes on to become one of the Dancing with the Stars partners. Madison Bodley teaches teen living at West Side and becomes a cheer coach. She continues to be head coach until she can no longer do backflips at the age of 64. Daniel Hornberger makes a living playing guitar in a rock and roll band. Women from all over come to watch him. Santa Mom becomes a fashion designer for, you guessed it, a name brand jeans. Jerem Holloway finds himself back at Westside, coaching football and wrestling. He attempts to grow a Zane Fredrickson beard. Lainey Nelson moves to Ireland and colors her hair red to blend in with Celtic dancers. She joins the Irish dance team and marries an Irish redhead. Keelan Nielsen becomes Donald Trump's office assistant and travels the country scheduling his appointments. She is also Mr. Trump's greeter on Celebrity Apprentice. Brett Thornley owns half of Cache Valley and farms with 300 employees. All old Westside students who have ad from Mr. Summers who really want to be farmers can apply. We'll hire if they can recite the creed. Quentin Zillis earns Dairy Farm of the Year in Antarctica and calls Brett to fly in dairy hay to feed his 1,000 Holsteins. He says milk is white, so why not Antarctica? Tyler White plays pro baseball until he retires and then becomes a motivational speaker for short men everywhere. Revolutionizes a way to transport snow cones without melting and calls it Rodeo Snowdio. And me, Melissa Pogge, designer of the company titled High Heels for High Women. And so our journey begins. Good luck, graduates of 2012. Love ya.
Can't see out there, but I'm looking for Mr. Larry Dowd. Did he come? I get to represent him tonight. I wasn't sure if he'd make it. So to help me tonight, I want to call two young people that's accomplished much in their years here at Westside. Stratton will come up. Stratton Roberts. And these two have taken great advantage of the endowment that was started by Larry Dowley and his brother Klein Dowley. And Stratton, well, Andrea, has received 41 credits of the Concord enrollment while she's been at Westside. And Stratton has received 73 credits while he's been at Westside. You're planning on graduating from college, how many before you go on your mission? A year from now? In 1 year, he hopes to then complete that college graduation and, before he served out his mission. So we just wanted to recognize these two young people and thank them for taking this opportunity that Larry and Klein and all of you that has donated to the Foundation Fund. Thank you so much. My good helper, Mr. Barzy, has reminded me I need to give you this. It wasn't too many years ago that a few of us had a great thought that we would like to start this Concord enrollment program. And Mr. Larry Daly was one of us' neighbor, who was Melissa Waddup's neighbor, and he used to say to her, "Why do you go over to West Side and work all the time? You know, when I went there, I didn't get a very good education. I didn't even learn how to read very well." And she would say to him, "Well, come over and see what we're doing." And one day she called me in the morning and said, "Get all our test scores out because Larry Daly's coming, and I think we can get a grand piano out of him for this auditorium." And anyway, I got the test scores out, and he came and looked them over and said, "Oh, you're doing really well. These students are performing as good or better than any in the state." And as he toured the campus, he saw what we were doing over at the Concord Enrollment Program, and he came back and said, "I want to be part of that." And from that, this foundation has grown into $1.7 million. That isn't all from Larry and Keith, but much of it is, but a lot of it has come from our own community. And that is truly what Larry has told me over and over again. We as patrons and as graduates, when you make your money, feel free to give to that fund and make it ours, make it continue to bless our students at West Side. You know, this is just a great place to live, to be part of. It's a great community, but the thing that makes it the greatest is our students. And I just really appreciate each one of you. I tell people, how come you enjoy that so much? And I say, well, I've kind of grown up here, and I just love the kids. They kind of treat me like an old grandpa. And if they need discipline, I just tell their principals to take care of it. And they do. And their teachers. So tonight I'd like to recognize two wonderful ladies that are graduating with you. They've been here about a quarter of a century or better. And they're finally going to graduate. So if Kathy Bright, I think you're out there, aren't you, Kathy? If you'll stand up. And Jean Paskins. Were you standing? I can't see out there. But anyway, after this graduation, if you'd like to go over to the foyer of the high school, they'll be there. There'll be a reception for them. We truly thank them for all they have done. Thanks again for all you have done for these students and faculty, K through 12. Thanks for all that you do. You are a great role model for us, and we appreciate it.
Superintendent Buehler, Board Chairman Dr. Bowles, and Westside School District Board of Trustees, I present to you Westside High School's graduating class of 2012.
Principal Barzee, the Westside School District Board of Trustees accepts the distinguished class of 2012.
Tyler Dean White, son of David and Cindy White, plans to work and serve the mission. Alex K. Montez, son of April Rawlings and Jose Montez, plans to attend Idaho State University. Shane Lynn, son of Shane and Trixie Lynn, plans to study forestry at Utah State University. Ryan Matthew Moyle, son of Doug and Tammy Moyle, plans to work and serve a mission. Samuel Hertel Northridge, son of Scott and Susan Northridge, plans to serve in the Marine Corps. Quentin Joseph Zillis, son of Ross and Lori Zillis, plans to serve a mission and then study agribusiness at Utah State University. Brett Darren Thornley, son of Darren and Christy Thornley, plans to work on the farm, then go to college. Thomas Lewis Kolke, son of Jaime Kolke and Kayea Castro, work and attend flight school. Joseph D. Cook, son of Laurel and Jody Cook, study physiology and departmental biology at BYU Provo and then serve a mission. Stratton Brandon Roberts, son of Brandon and Laura Roberts, complete his bachelor's degree at Utah State University and serve a mission. Alyssa Lee Povey, daughter of Brad and Lisa Povey, plans to play volleyball at the College of Southern Idaho. Elena Regine Nelson, daughter of Reed and Kathy Nelson, plans to study English at Southern Utah University. Janessa Ann Leyland, daughter of Jay and Patty Leyland, plans to work on her RN at College of Southern Idaho. Merrick Krieger, daughter of John and Kathy Krieger, plans to study communication design and behavioral science at Utah State University. Madison Shea Bodley, daughter of Troy and Deline Bodley, plans to study nursing at Utah State University. Shelby Ann Moser, daughter of Troy and Celeste Moser, plans to study cosmetology at Idaho State University. Mindy Penrod, daughter of Richard and Mary Penrod, plans to attend Weber State University in criminal justice and forensics. Cherise Alder, daughter of Zahn and Liana Alder, plans to go to pharmacy school. Tricia Jorgensen, daughter of Stephen and Christy Jorgensen, plans to study nursing at Idaho State University. Andrea Martin, daughter of Brian Martin and Karen Martin, plans to study nursing and radiology at Idaho State University. Oscar Porter, son of Craig and Marcia Porter, plans to attend Paul Mitchell Academy of Ridgeland. Ammon Kent Baird, son of Carrie and Jerry Baird, plans to attend Utah State University and serve a mission. Jay Connor Reed, son of Ron and Cindy Reed, plans to work in Alaska and then serve a mission. Daz Daniel Butters, son of Ryan and Janice Butters, plans to serve a mission in Hawaii. My dad, that's a for sure thing in Hawaii. I have a hard time reading this one. It's not Pablo Sanchez. Tyler Dale Olson, son of Reed and Stacy. Plans to serve a mission and then attend Utah State University.
Hey, Tyler!
Daniel George Hornberger, son of Michael and Janet Hornberger, plans to attend Brigham Young University and then serve a mission. Ronnie Jace Keller, son of Brooks and Camille Keller, plans to attend Utah State University. Robert Paul Larson, son of Paul and Camille Larson, plans to work and then serve a mission. Jaron Scott Holloway, son of Dale and Rebecca Holloway, plans to work, serve a mission, and then attend college. Chance Leland Weeks, son of Wendell and Heidi Weeks, plans to attend Ridgeland Applied Technology College this fall. James William Means, son of Connie Brown and Kenny Means, plans to serve in the Marine Corps. Michaela Marie Holliday, daughter of Mark and Carol Holliday, plans to attend Brigham Young University, Idaho. Kayla Ann Stokes, daughter of Clifford and Nancy Stokes, plans to study cosmetology and New Horizons in Logan. Kaylee Elise Nielsen, daughter of Wynn and Bonnie Nielsen, plans to study psychology and human development at Utah State University. Sienna Michelle Ma, daughter of Art Ma and Janelyn Ma, plans to study psychology at Utah State University. Samantha Sue Kohler, daughter of Carl and Lori Kohler, Plans to study elementary education at Utah State University. Sierra K. Kohler, daughter of Carl and Lori Kohler, plans to study nursing at Brigham Young University, Idaho. Catherine Marie Owen, daughter of Scott and Kelly Owen, plans to study dental hygiene at Idaho State University. Heather Green, daughter of Brent Green and Jenny Green, plans to study human movement science and physical therapy at Utah State University. Harley Bakutas Wolfley, daughter of Lance Wolfley and Betty Wolfley, plans to study human movement science at Utah State University. Jovita Pancarte, daughter of Humberto and Beline Pancarte, plans to get married and study cosmetology. Marnie Jo Sears, daughter of Murray and Lisa Sears, plans to attend Brigham Young University, Idaho.
Graduating class of 2012, please join me in turning of our tassels. One last thing before the bus leaves to the senior trip. Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to remind you
and request your presence in a reception in the honor of Superintendent Buehler, who has served as superintendent of this school district for the last 25 years, tomorrow evening in the Elwell Gymnasium beginning at 7 o'clock. And on behalf of the entire faculty in the Westside School District, we'd like to thank you for sharing these last many years with your students. It has been our privilege and our pleasure, and thank you also for your continued support of the Westside School District.